Welcome, dear guests, to this maybe interactive panel discussion where we talk about the topic recruitment and retention. As you might know, the Greek word krino means separate or discussion after related word crisis. Signifies the preference of one alternative over another. A point of uncertainty before events move on. So we are in the middle of change. The question is, how are we going to meet the challenges that come along with this transformation? A transformation of how we treat our employees. How can we cater for our people unique human needs? Bringing out the best work and cultivating a happy and productive business. Our expert panel present here will discuss everything from finding top talents and how to retain them. So let us try to get some new ideas and inspiration to fix the staffing crisis within the next 40 minutes. That's a challenge in itself, but we will try. Let me introduce our panel for today. On my left, for your right, Jolanda, Sadni, welcome, Inc. Hotel. To my left and your right, Melle, Pegman, Hotelprofessionals, welcome also. And to my right and for your left, Floris, Kemper, Château, Gerlach. Welcome to you all. Maybe you can introduce yourself by giving us a small insight of your career path so far and where your hotelo roots maybe began. We start with Jolanda. You had a great international career, so far starting in Mexico and many countries. And I listened to your Accor podcast. It was a great story. So maybe in short, I know it's a long story, some highlights of your beautiful career. Jolanda.
Good afternoon, everybody. I was born in hospitality, and this was not the job I wanted to do. You see your parents working very hard and very many hours. So school was not my thing, and then I figured out that was the only thing I could do. So I left for England first, and I did a summer job, and then I really got the hang of it. So I moved to Brussels. From Brussels I went to Mexico. From Mexico I went to France. From France I went to Belgium. From Belgium I went back to France.
She remembers everything.
From France I went to Morocco, and then we moved to Mauritius, and then I came, and I worked in the States as well, in between for the Walt Disney Company, and then we came back to the Netherlands, so this is like 44 years in 8 countries, and I still look very young.
Always in a hotel?
Always.
You never left?
No.
Beautiful. Melle. You started at hotel school.
The Hague, indeed.
The Hague, yes. For me, very difficult to pronounce. And what about you started at hotel school, and then what? What happened?
First, I started my career within Hilton, but soon I figured out next to working in hotels, it would also be nice to interact with other people working in industry, and met my current business partner Jacob, and started Hotel Vrijmibo. That's already 15 years ago.
15 years already, Vrijmibo.
Yes.
And there's coming again some activity?
Yes, there will be events coming soon, so be aware of that.
Yes.
And next to that, over 10 years ago, we started Hotelprofessionals as the platform for hotel vacancies. So we have seen the different waves throughout the years. And the last 2 years have been, of course, quite some special years.
I can understand. Thank you. Floris, you started at hotel school Apeldoorn, Saxion. Tell us about your career so far. What took you in the end to the beautiful south of the Netherlands?
Well, I started working in a hotel when I was 16 years old. I worked for Bilderberg back then. Combined it with hotel school, indeed, Saxion. Afterwards, I went to Nijmegen for a master in business administration. And that is when I decided that hotel was really my environment. So I moved to Amsterdam, worked 6 years for NH Hotels. And then I moved to south of the Netherlands, started to work for Oostwegel Collection in the Kruisweg Hotel in Maastricht. And after 2 years I had the chance to go to Château Gerlach, where I'm now for 1.5 years. Yeah.
Beautiful. So, the hospitality industry is one of the hardest hit sectors during the corona crisis, especially during the lockdowns. I call them knockdowns. standing up and falling down again. The number of jobs in our industry fell sharply. Where there were 424,000 employees in the industry in the Netherlands before Corona, it was still 300,000 in February 2021. During the year, the industry has been able to open more and more, and the sector benefited from the economic growth. Halfway to 21, the numbers of jobs increased again to 400,000. But as you know, in November it was a knockdown again, and we are stuck now on 350,000 employees. Ricardo Eshuis, the director of Stichting Vakopleiding Horeca, is convinced that the salary in the hospitality industry must be increased so that it becomes more attractive to work in. Of course, the branch is one of the worst earning sectors, according to him, because it has been for years as a sector where mainly students work. And I can confirm that, of course. It seems to be a side job or a holiday job, and not where anyone can make a career. We can discuss about that. According to Trade Association Koninklijk Horeca Nederland, the overall picture must be attractive enough. It ranges from good hourly wage to discounts for employees to the provision of meals and flexible working hours. According to the spokesman, and I agree, this is of all times and it's not new. The Koninklijk Horeca Nederland recently started a campaign that discusses, among other things, how much fun it is to work in our industry. So let's find out. First topic, recruitment. Melle, you are the owner of Hotelprofessionals and MG People, as I recall. Must be a great time for you with all your vacancy sites. Can you give us some facts and figures about what's happening in your world right now?
Well, as I mentioned before, the last 2 years have been quite a roller coaster to us. But maybe let's look into the facts and figures as you mentioned. We have a cooperation with the ABN AMRO Bank, and we've done several surveys throughout the years, throughout the last 2 years. Which one of the questions, of course, was: do you still plan to work in this industry, and what could be a reason to either stay or come back to the industry? You mentioned one of them already. Salary was 70% of all of all the
of course.
Of all of them. They would like to have a higher salary, or at least more related to what they do in their job. But the other two, of course, also quite logical, but are the flexible hours they have to work. That could either be, of course, during the weekend, during the evenings, and more hotels. What we see also, of course, we're in touch with a lot of the hotels, are planning to look into that and see if they can be more flexible in the hours, also to the employee. So not only from the hotel side, you have to be here every day, every weekend, every night, but make sure they can combine like a 40-hour work week, mostly in the hotels 50 or 60, but in those 4 days instead of being there 6 or 7.
More flexible contracts, 24 hours, 20 hours, 16
yes,
hours?
Yes, also more open to flexible contract. That's,
so
that's what we've seen so far.
15 people for your reception, stat 2. But all have 1 day, maybe, or one shift.
Maybe.
Can be.
Yeah.
Floris, in the south of the Netherlands, the region of Maastricht, do you have challenges finding staff at the Oostwegel collection?
Well, of course we do.
Oh.
Limburg is always a little bit behind the rest of the Netherlands, but it's starting to become a reality for us as well. I think we don't have the solution, but of course there are things to change, how we look at vacancies, how we look at recruitment, and we are starting to offer more, what people are looking for. We need to adopt our vacancies.
Customization, more customization.
Yeah.
All right. Jolanda, I understand you have 37 full-time employees, of which 26 different cultural backgrounds, of which half of them are ladies. Whoa. And in 2016 you won the Best Management Team Award by the Dutch Hotel Awards with Inc Hotel. What did and do you do to recruit the right people? Because you must do a hell of a good job.
Oh, well, of course I do a hell of a good job.
Yeah, of course. Horses are.
I'm from Limburg, so that...
Yeah.
I think what we look at is, one, we don't recruit you on you know how, but on you know how. Skills we can learn you, hospitality, being outgoing to your guests, you have to have that in you. I mean, that's something very hard to learn. Secondly, I try to create a safe environment for everybody. We don't care who you love, we don't care what you believe in, as long as you don't stop until you're proud. And I want to help you and to be in a safe environment where you can be yourself. I don't have an office, so I'm always on the floor. Can be painful sometimes, huh? Having me all
For
around
yourself?
all day.
For yourself or
Also suffer all day long. But close to your people. I mean, we have 2 meetings a week and the rest we don't. It's, we deal with it straight away, but make people feel good. You know, respect each other, learn from each other. If you are from 26 different cultural backgrounds, you know, who are you to judge somebody else in what he believes, or what his principles are, or who he loves?
Yeah.
We don't care as long as you do it good and as long as you're proud of it. And you want to go somewhere, I will bring you there where you want to go. You want my job, you're more than happy to get it. I can do something else. And you know how it's good. You have to have that's nice to have a base, but your skills I can teach you. And if you want to learn, it's open. It's an international business. So I lived in 8 countries. I visited 27 or something. I moved houses 27 times. So anybody needs advice on moving, I'm very good in this one as well.
Yeah, Jolanda.
So that's important for me.
One thing struck me, the value of diversity and inclusion. Do you have an
Right.
example? Inclusion, of course, with 26 different nationalities.
Well, I think where we stand for is all year around, and not only we do our pink party, Ink Goes Pink in
Ink
July.
goes pink, nice.
Ink Hotel Goes Pink. We put a P in front of Ink on the facade
On
of
the
the
surface.
hotel, so a lot of guests walk by, can't find Ink. It's important. It's important that you can be who you want to be, and then when you go to work, that you feel that you can. And that's why we do a big party doing Ink, but it's not only this. We have debates on inclusion, on gender, the difficulties where people walk into. And so people, you know, when they leave, because everybody leaves and everybody needs to leave because you need to grow and you need to learn new things. I don't want people to stay with me for 20 years because then it becomes a convenience. It grow.
They cannot go because you're moving all the time.
Yeah, well, you know, maybe good for them.
Okay.
Then they don't need to move because they get rid of me.
All right. So we learned recruitment activities are very important. But how you make sure that you are the employer of choice. Already in 1969, Simon Barrell defined the much hard buzzword employer branding. How is your hotel's identity perceived by the current and potential employees? And how do you establish an authentic and distinctive preferred position as an employer? Melle, it's all about reputation. In your opinion, does a hotelier often succeed in reaching the potential employees? And why not?
I'm afraid not always. Of course, it's difficult as being a hotel in itself to reach out to the right audience you want to have working in your place. But I think it's also an industry reputation related issue.
A challenge, maybe, yeah.
A challenge. Like as an industry, of course, the last 2 years have been tough, and I think the whole sexy and vibrant and energy should come back in the industry. Of course, guests are coming back. The fun part, indeed, and I think that will help to also convince people working in the healthcare or other industries to come back to the place, which is still, I think, a great industry to work for.
It is.
And I think it should be a combined effort from all the hotels together to show how fun and vibrant and sexy the industry is.
Absolutely.
Instead of fighting just one by one.
Yeah.
Because that won't help, I'm afraid.
We need to do it together. The reputation quotient model, found out by Forburn, Gradberg and Server, states a 6 dimensions which influence your reputation. Things like emotional appeal, vision and leadership, workplace environment can make a big difference in choosing your hotel as future employer. Floris, you customize the contracts for your people, you told me. What do you mean by that, customizing contracts? Can you elaborate?
Of course. And also to get back to what Jolanda said, I think we have to realize people are not going to stay 20 or 30 years with us. And that's fine. Within our company, we come to see that it's all about people success, and it's following how your employee develops, and not once a year, but staying in contact, having the good conversations, and making sure that when someone starts in a certain job and he's ready for the next in 1 month, that you offer the opportunity, and not stay to the idea that you have to stay in that role maybe for 1 year, because probably then they will leave for a job somewhere else.
Is it then
So
a job
this is
rotation, or what is it?
I think it's all about making sure that people can develop in the way and in the speed that they want to, and I think this really helps to keep them as long as possible. Eventually, they will leave, and that's fine. Hopefully, they will leave with good memories of working in your company, so they stay within our industry and not leave because they are tired of it.
And
So-
different contracts? How many staff does Château St. Gerlach have? 120,
Well,
140?
at the moment, I'm working with around 130 people.
All a different contract.
Well, it's more like if someone wants to work 4 days, 9 hours, then normally we would say like that doesn't fit into the vacancy. But now we learn how to look for a job that fits, and maybe 4 days of 9 hours, it works for me, so it's fine. Or they do a combination between working in the reservations department, but also 2 days a week in the coffee bar, because they like to have that interaction with
Always
guests.
possible.
Always possible, as long as they feel that they are seen, appreciated, and they can contribute to the whole. I think that really helps for them to enjoy being with us. Yeah.
Jolanda, in your podcast you said people should always be able to be themselves in a safe environment, you just told us, and teamwork is the key to success. You shine as a team or you don't shine at all. That brings me to the next topic, retainment. You do a great job in that, obviously. Can you inspire us, some examples how you retain your people? Because they work very long for you.
I think when you get them on the interview, there's hardly anybody who asks what's in it for me. They try to sell themselves, they want a salary, but they never ask what is my development, where are my possibilities to grow further. You should not go on an interview and not ask what's in it for you. I mean, come on, we need to grow, we need to continue. Listen to people. No, we have a back office manager. He arrived, and in 4 months he had he had a second different job, because that's where his talents were lying. Also what he was doing, but look at your people and see what's in there and try to get it out, and don't concentrate on what's not going very well. I mean, if you're not good in finance, then I can jump on you, but you will never be good in it. So why create a shitty environment if you are pushed into a direction where you don't want to go? So what are your talents? Speak up, manifest yourself, because it's not written on your head what you want to become.
No,
So
not everywhere.
honestly, respect is certainly very important for me. Be open, speak to your people. I know them all. I had an hotel where we had almost 500 people. I made the effort to walk around, to get to know them, and keep still a bit the distance, because otherwise, I'm not your...
Your mother?
Oh, not
sometimes.
at all. I have one son, more than enough.
I can imagine.
No,
It's the
I'm not
human touch. For you, it's
Yeah,
always the
I
human
don't
touch.
believe either in, we one big family, because we're not. We are people who work together, and we should do it the best way together. My family I have at home, my son I have at home, I have a husband at home.
Good
so
for you.
I'm not looking for that. But I can give some phone numbers. you know, what's in it for you? Speak up and be honest to each other and make the best out of your day. And if you see your development
Challenge.
no,
Possibilities.
sorry, then of course you want to stay because you feel good. You know, secondary conditions are very nice. Now you get a scooter or you get a housing or you get whatever. We give a bonus and we give a safe environment where you can develop yourself.
Okay.
Because the shitty environment, you know, you need
Doesn't
to go
work.
with pleasure to your work, right?
All right, Melle. Employee retention
I
is
talk too
usually...
much, right?
No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
We have time enough. Employee retention is usually represented in a percentage. Is it true that since COVID is percentually drastically decreased and at the same time the cost of replacement, your agency, increased significantly? So we face a challenge, right?
That's definitely true.
Okay, what's your answer?
Well, I think it was mentioned already by Floris and Jolanda that listening to the employee you have on board already in your company, knowing what to do, should be much more important than it was. I mean, the human capital is the basis of our industry. That is what the industry makes. That's what the guests want to see. Not that nice bed, but the employee who brings you there or serves you in the restaurant. And I think listening to human capital, already mentioned, will help to keep your people on board. Bringing new people in, we spoke to, of course, a lot of our clients the last years. Let's say in a certain position, someone has a certain salary, and that person is asking for €100 extra. Well, then the hotel is too small and won't happen. That person will leave, and someone new will be attracted. They have to pay for advertising or whatsoever, and they have to train this person again. Probably pay at least €500 extra to get this person on board. Just please, at this moment, all the people working for you, make sure they stay. Listen to them again. See what you can do, how they can develop within the company, and maybe
Spend some time with them.
spend some time. And this 100 or 200 euros extra a month
Doesn't make the difference.
doesn't make the difference.
Nope.
It might make the difference for this specific employee, and you will definitely spend much more money in attracting a new person, not having this person in that position for months.
Cost is then higher.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
we have a big difference.
Yeah.
Floris, you told me you make hotel facilities available for staff. So I'm a staff, I go to a room, this is my room tonight. Oh, what? How do you do that?
Not exactly, but indeed, and it's a small thing that we do, but when people come in, I think after a certain period they can lose the feeling of why it's so nice to work with us. And Château Gerlach is a very nice location with a lot of facilities. So I started to do some things like offering staff they can use the swimming pool. And in the beginning I thought this was really like, oh God, I hope they don't have pool
The
parties
swimming
at night.
pool and the guests.
But
where are the guests?
Well, it's after closing time, and I know that for some people it's difficult to go to the gym or to go do another type of sport. So I thought I'd just offer them before opening, after opening times.
And did it work?
It works, and they behave like they should. So it's
Unbelievable, we behave in the swimming pool.
but you know that
I
this
understand.
can go really wrong in a hotel, but it doesn't.
It works.
But what we also do is inviting staff to go to the spa and have new treatments, so they can be the first to have the massage that we just created. And this also is nice for the bonding between the teams.
Upselling again.
We have a nice coffee bar, as I mentioned. I think it's totally fine to go have a walk, go to the coffee bar, grab a nice cappuccino, so they don't need to go to the coffee machine, if you ask me. And only walking around on the estate, having a nice cup of coffee, doing a yoga on Monday morning.
My God.
I hope for them this is like the extra reason to stay, because yes, of course, we can offer everyone extra salary, but it's not about salary alone. It's about enjoying the place where you are.
It's a big difference. I was there with the opening in St. Gerlach 1996, my God. And at that time, that was not possible.
97, it's 25 years this year.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So, Thomas, do we have time for the bonus question? We have. Aha.
Oh, and maybe some questions.
Yeah, but
I
that's
love
later. Q&A
questions.
we do later. What about other examples of retaining, learning and development? We didn't talk about that yet. Is there always work-related development, or can you imagine you paying for the yoga lessons of your chef? For example, I heard of a CEO of a big IT company. The employees can hand in their laundry on Friday, and Monday they find their clothing ironed and nicely folded on their desk. Great for the IT world. Do you have some more examples? Jolanda.
Well, I do not do the ironing in the weekend, so no, not with us. Well, of course we have, when an employee starts with us, he stays one night in the hotel and experience as a guest, has to fill out loads of things he sees or she sees, has dinner, so they can experience it as a guest. The bonus percentages we have is for everybody. Of course, you can sleep much cheaper in other Accor hotels where our group is.
Of course.
But, you know, I think it's all about the atmosphere you create at your work.
That's it.
And that if you walk in, we have a saying, the moment you walk through the door, you come to work. We don't have a button we switch off because, you know, you had a lousy morning, and we're humans, you know. You're allowed to make mistakes. Learn from it, own them. Don't say, oh, it was not me, or it was him, or I was not there. Own the mistake, learn from it, don't do them again, do something else. I mean, not doing your job is a whole different situation. But learn. You can
from
only
it.
learn.
We're here to learn. Earn and learn.
And earn, sure.
Now we move on to the final theme that I want to talk about today. How do you manage the expectations of your potential new employees? Are you always honest? Whoa. People often say external winning is internal beginning. You have to be sure that there is alignment with the basics in your hotel. Things like relation management, testimonials of your employees, referral programs and hosting open houses events are requirements nowadays that need to be in place before you start your spot-on $10,000 Google campaign with the most beautiful pictures and catchy recruitment text. Melle, you're in this. Do you think all hoteliers here are always transparent within your digital environment to catch the talent's attention?
I wish I could say yes,
So you say no.
so I say no.
They all lie.
Well, it's not all a lie.
Oh, okay.
It's not all a lie. It's not that bad. No, since beginning this year, we had around 1,000 vacancies on Hotelprofessionals.
1,000.
1,000. Now, this morning, it was over 3,300.
My God.
So I've seen some vacancies passing by.
Nice pictures.
Nice pictures. But they didn't show the basements where you have to work also.
Or
They didn't-
eat.
Or eat. They didn't tell the person who was applying for the job they have to work 60 hours a week. So
60. 60.
sometimes it happens.
My personal assistant does it on Monday and Tuesday. Huh? The 60 hours. Okay.
No, so I think it's not always that honest. I think there could be there's room for some honest sharing, and
Yeah.
I've seen more and more hotels do it, and even share the opinion from a colleague in that job or the manager in that job. When you work in my team, you will be doing this and that. So it's the
Floris,
transparency is.
How do you?
There
Are
more
you
and more.
very transparent or a little bit transparent? Your website or your recruitment videos,
Of course, I think
the
that
swimming pool.
as soon as people start to work, it's important to stay connected with them. I think that it's all about expectations, and employees, just as guests, create their own expectations. The most important thing is to have the honest conversations, to stay in contact with them, and to know if something is different than that they expected. So then you can act on it. So I don't think it's about lying or not being honest. It's about staying in contact and making sure that you try to make the adjustments. Hopefully they will then be happy to stay. But
Your open houses are very well.
well, we did a
visited.
recruitment day last week, and what I think is quite interesting is that we had, I think, 10 candidates, and they are probably all going to work for our company.
So 100%.
And why are they there? And normally they are not replying to any vacancies, probably because they didn't have to hand in the resume, they didn't have to write a motivation letter,
Nothing.
and they could ask us questions instead of the other way around.
Do
So
they
it was
speak do they speak
very-
Dutch?
most of them, indeed. Yeah.
Good for you. Well, to finalize, okay, we have question and answers. Let's do that first. Someone here has a question for Jolanda. Yes.
Hello. Hi. I have a question.
Floris. Yes.
I was just wondering about investment programs. Do any of you have any investment programs for your staff, or are you interested in looking into that?
No, not yet.
No?
No?
You have an
Staff
example?
buying into the hotel, so they're more
Oh.
invested into the
Okay.
business.
No, not with our group as far as I know.
You
But
mean
we can
staff
bring
can
it up.
buy stocks?
Yep.
Oh no. Oh no, now I'm lying. Oh God. God.
That's very
that was
transparent.
about
I've
2 years
spoken to
ago
started doing that.
in our
Is it-
company, Accor Invest. Yes, you could buy stocks. And it's a new company, so it only started 3 years ago officially. So they're not yet on the beurs market,
Stock market. Yeah.
stock market. So yes, we could buy. 3 years ago. Sorry. Oh God, I hope there's nobody here from Accor Invest who's going to shoot me afterwards. Sorry. Yes, we can. We do.
All right, thank you. Maybe the last question?
Oh,
We have a microphone.
Hi, my name is Angelo. It was really interesting to listen to the things you had to tell in this discussion. When people visit a hotel, they tend to read the reviews. But I was thinking, are you also using the reviews of staff to hire new staff?
It's a good idea.
Yeah, it's an idea.
Who does?
Yeah.
well, we use our the comments of the guests on our social media. You know, and I think it's very important because everybody looks at reviews that you answer them honestly, admit that you make mistakes. You know, we can make mistakes. Admit it. Don't hide.
And your staff,
People
do
read
they
this-
comment? The
Yes.
staff?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And how is it in St.
We
Gerlach,
share
or-
them every day.
Well, reviews for me have always been very important. I get them automatically, and it's the first thing that I read in the morning when I wake up.
Yeah, guest reviews.
Guest
But
reviews.
staff reviews, that's the
Well,
idea.
Staff
Awesome.
reviews. What we do, everyone who leaves the company, they get an extensive exit interview. This is done by HR. They make analysis of it, and we, as general managers, always get once a quarter
Why did they leave?
the most important reasons why they leave, so we
that's
can
good.
adjust to it. So it's a very important part of how do people leave and why, and how can we change
Well, I think it's a good
what we
idea.
do. Yeah.
We can use it. huh?
Yeah, we do exit interviews as well. But I always find it a shame that we have to wait until an exit interview to find out why they're leaving. So
People
no.
are not always honest, huh?
No, but that bugs me a lot because we give them the opportunity to talk, and then still somehow we don't do. Then maybe something not right. That they still don't feel very comfortable to share. No. Yeah.
All right. I think I'm going to finalize. No, there's a question here. Sir.
Hello, my name
Hi.
is Andre from Hospitality Group. Just to pick up on the idea of how important the reviews, guest reviews are in social media for hotels, I want to ask if you could share some good practices of sort of positive motivation that we can use to motivate employees to be more happy in their job, but to be more efficient, and how we can link what the comments the guests leave and the experience guests have to making the employees more efficient and more professional.
Some examples of social media, maybe, Melle? You use it a
And
lot?
examples of mechanisms of
Yeah, mechanism.
motivation of employees.
I don't have a real example from a hotel which I know they use it this way, to be honest.
So at Château Gerlach we have a weekly digital newspaper which we send out to all the staff, where we always highlight the best reviews. Of course, try to make the compliments about the things that are going well, but also to highlight the things that we could have done better. So we really try to keep the guest experience top of mind on a weekly basis.
Maybe it's about guest experience, but also the experience of young people on film. I have an agency called Mise en Place. We have thousands of young people, and what we do, we film at the scene. At St. Gerlach, what are you doing? I'm doing a cocktail. Whoa, and who's that? That's the president of a country. This film, hit, I want to work there. So to get them in the experience in your workplace, what's happening there, then you get them in. That's my experience.
I think in my previous life, we did something that was not really, I think, ethical.
Conventional?
But we did it anyway. When you were mentioned in a review, you know, if you were mentioned like 20 times, then you got something out of it, a little present. But then people became really on top of the guests. Say, my name is Jolanda, really Jolanda with a G, and then and can you write how great I was? So TripAdvisor did not like this at all. And it should be, you know, as long as you celebrate not only the reviews, but celebrate every little thing that happens. You know, make people feel valuable, that they did a good job. And it's not only about payment, but that you also, you know, shine and use people on social media.
Celebrate the success.
Always.
Celebrate your success.
Always.
Right. Then to finalize this discussion, we had some depth interviews about recruitment, retention within our beautiful hotel industry. Tools like employer branding, reputation management and transparency contributes to becoming the employer of choice. I don't think we solved the staffing crisis here yet, but there is no war on talents. The talents have won. So, what are we going to do? We have a small drink maybe in another suite, or I heard we're going there for an after drink. And we thank you for listening, paying attention, and go there to get the talents. Thank you very much.